Yankees prospects are breaking out, and we have to talk about it. So what's up, guys? Welcome back to Yankees Digest. My name is Chris, and we're going to jump right into the video, as we always do, because two Yankees prospects, two of our top guys, are breaking out, and it has been recognized by the MLB and the minor leagues as both Spencer Jones and Brock Selvidge have been elected to play in the 2024 All-Stars Future Games, and I am so hyped for these two prospects, guys. We all know the deal with Spencer Jones, especially first-round pick, left-handed outfielder, someone who honestly, as soon as potentially halfway through next season, could take over in the outfield for the New York Yankees. I think we all know that with Aaron Judge not being the youngest player in the league, obviously he's far from old, but there's going to come a point where Aaron Judge is going to transition to that first base position. First of all, Spencer Jones can play first base. But also, with Alex Verdugo kind of being a bridge guy, especially since he cannot hit a left-handed pitcher at all, we could see Spencer Jones coming up to the MLB real soon, and maybe he's ready for it. I mean, clearly the MLB believes so, electing him to be a starter in the All-Stars Futures game. Some people have found that to be a little controversial. I disagree. The man is someone who I think is going to pan out at the next level. There's a reason why the Yankees drafted him in the first round. And obviously with Brock Selvidge, left-handed pitcher, he will come in and soon be a starter for the New York Yankees. Obviously, he's only 21 years old. There's a lot of time before the Yankees are going to feel pressure to need to bring up Brock. We're going to have to see how this year finishes. Garrett Cole seems like he's getting back on track. Marcus Stroman is Marcus Stroman. We know the deal there. Nestor Cortez, despite the win-loss record, has had a very solid season. The Yankees have some pitchers, and Nestor being a lefty, and Carlos Rodon kind of just being a bit of a worrisome pitcher at this point. They might want to add another lefty to their starting lineup. Now, again, they have Rodon, they have Nestor, so it's not like they're completely lost. But it feels like there's going to be some sort of trade that eventually happens, with Luis Gil maybe slowing down a bit because this is his first year back from Tommy John surgery. There's 6 starting pitchers for the Yankees. We know this has been a problem. We know Cole is still the ace. Clark Schmidt has been good at points. Obviously, he's dealing with the injury now, so we don't have to think about him for a little bit. But he has been good, picked it up at the end of last year, shown this year that he does still have that potential. There's a lot of things going right for the Yankees right now, and these problems are nowhere near the problems we've had last year. But when we look at Brock Selvidge, he is someone who probably sooner rather than later, at least us fans, are going to want to see him get to the Bronx and pitch in Yankee Stadium. With Spencer Jones, we know it's coming soon. That we don't even have to talk that much about it. We know that Spencer Jones, not this season, but in the near future, will be in the pinstripes, will be a major league player. Both guys still AA players right now, the two best players in the AA team, most likely. And, I mean, just phenomenal players. I am so thrilled with the way this season has panned out for them, and you can see it here. The Yankees obviously value them high. Spencer Jones is the second best prospect, only behind the Martian and Jason Dominguez, who it's kind of up in the air now if he's going to come back to the majors this season. Obviously played like exactly what we thought he was going to be and more when he finally came up. I mean, we've had the man on the team since he was 16 years old. He came in, did his thing, gets injured, gets Tommy John. I don't know if they're going to want to rush him back this year. He's still young enough. He's still 23 where they're like, all right, what if we just take the extra year, make sure Jason's good to go? But again, that switch hitting is so helpful, especially when considering Verdugo. He's a fine player, excellent fielder, but he cannot hit a left-handed pitcher. The Yankees hitting is worrisome. It's why we're, 3-10 in our last 13 or something? The Yankees have been struggling a lot recently. It feels like they would easily still take Dominguez over Spencer Jones. I mean, it'd be irrational to not do that. But there's also more to look at when considering these guys. For instance, Spencer Jones, already a top 100 prospect in baseball at 75th right now. That is going to continue growing. Look, he's a monster, dude. I am so high on Spencer Jones as a prospect. I think he'll probably take over at left field for the Yankees. I know Soto's there now, or Soto's in right, and right now left field is Verdugo, so it would make sense to throw Spencer Jones out there, and maybe if we're keeping Judge in center field for a little bit. But also, that's where it comes into transitioning him to first when you also consider Jason Dominguez. The Yankees have a lot of good outfielders who are all fairly young. Judge is the oldest one because obviously Stanton does not count anymore. So when you look at it that way, you have to consider Judge's time is probably coming to an end. And there's some, as an outfielder, obviously, not as an end of a baseball player, but clearly at some point they're going to want to move him to first base, and maybe they'll put Spencer Jones there for a year or so if they think Judge is just still the better outfielder when it comes to fielding. So Spencer Jones can kind of get ready. They'll switch off a little bit, maybe do half and half before Judge fully transitions to first. I'm not so sure what's going to happen in that, right? The good news is once Judge is done with playing the outfield, there are a lot of guys to take over, and they are already great. I mean, Spencer Jones, an all-star already. Look at this, man. In the month of June, 296 batting average with 6 home runs and 29 RBIs. The man is almost ready. I mean, I don't think he'll go up to AAA this year. I feel like he's going to be one of those guys who next year is going to start out in AAA and they're just going to fast track him through it. Like, all right, nice, you played 15 games for us, you're ready. Go up to the MLB, go do your thing. It could be that soon. Now, obviously, free agency matters, and we're going to have some more videos coming out about another outfielder who there's been whispers about. Maybe that will affect things. But there's a lot of good stuff with this Yankees outfield, and a lot of it's the prospects. Obviously, our two best players in Soto and Judge are out there. But again, I don't see Judge being in the outfield that much longer. They're going to want to extend his prime because he's the greatest hitter literally ever. So I know it's still Barry Bonds, but, you know, Judge is basically Barry Bonds right now, which is kind of weird to think that anyone could do that. But there's guys to replace him once the fielding gets just a little too much for him, the same way it did with Stanton. Now, Spencer Jones, this is his first full year as a AAA player. He is hitting above average on OPS, not by much, but he still is hitting above average. He's done his thing. He's played very well. I see when you look at the stats, it's like, okay, maybe there were a few guys or one guy or two who could have started over him for this Futures game, but it's just the fact that we all know what's coming with Spencer Jones. Possibly being on the Yankees helped, but at the end of the day, we know how good this man is. He does not really have a weak spot in his game as of right now when it shows in AA. Obviously, that can be found as he moves up through the rankings, but right now, the man looks like a 5-tool player, and top it all off, he bats lefty, and the Yankees, it feels like these lefty bat issues never end. Even with having Soto, now Verdugo can't hit, as I've said like 4 different times already. Obviously, Anthony Rizzo might just be cooked at this point. There's a lot of reasons to believe that having another lefty on board with the Yankees would be very helpful. Now, not to make this all about Spencer Jones, there is some good stuff about Brock Selvidge also. The man's pitching at a 3.50 ERA right now. Very solid. There's a reason why he's in this All-Stars future game. He deserves it. He's young. I mean, he's got a year or two before he's in the MLB. He's only 21 years old. I don't think they're going to rush him unless they need a pitcher. And right now, between Cole and having Stroman next year also, unless he gets traded or something, Nestor still doing his thing. Like, you have options if they want to keep Clark Schmidt around, which I believe he's a free agent this year, so that could get a little dicey, or maybe next year. His free agency's coming up, is what I should be saying. And there could be some dicey situations. I think Selvidge is probably 2 years out still. But we're all waiting in the wings for Brock Selvidge to come up and show why he is as good of a lefty pitcher as anyone, speaking of lefties. This is a great day for lefty baseball players in New York Yankees history right now, especially when it comes to our minor leagues. I mean, the other part of a great day is that we have Juan Soto, and he's just the absolute man. But guys, obviously it's been phenomenal the way these guys have panned out so far for the New York Yankees. I'm so excited to see where these guys go. I'm going to keep a close eye on AA baseball, which is something I did not think I would be saying like a few months ago. But this team, I mean, it's hard to not get drawn in, guys. I don't really think that there is going to be much fear with lefties for much longer with when you look at these two studs coming up. They obviously got Dominguez also, who's a switch hitter. Dude, I'm just so hyped for this team. I'm so hyped for the future of the Yankees. They got great prospects. They got great players right now. They have the best player in baseball. Things are looking good. I know obviously the record recently has not been, but they're going to turn this thing around. Bad stretches happened. I'm honestly not that concerned. But guys, if you like this video, make sure to subscribe to Yankees Digest. Some of you might know me from Nick's Digest. I'm probably going to post on the fact that I'm doing this right now. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I can't wait to get this thing off the ground. Have a great day, guys. And go Yankees, baby.